The room is small but tidy. Maya, 26, is eating instant noodles while marking legal documents. The light flickers, and she sighs as she glances at an overdue electric bill. Maya, VO. I once believed my biggest challenge was paying rent. I was Maya Vance, the girl without a middle name, raised by a father who vanished before I was born. I enjoyed my peaceful life. But tranquility doesn't last when a billionaire decides he needs a daughter. SFX. A loud, rhythmic knocking at the door. Maya opens it to find Mr. Henderson, dressed in a suit worth more than her car, accompanied by 2 large security guards. Henderson. Miss Maya Vance. Or should I say, Miss Maya Sterling. Maya, I think you've got the wrong apartment, and the wrong income bracket. Henderson. Handing her a DNA report. Arthur Sterling has been searching for you for 26 years. He's dying, Maya, and he doesn't want to leave his empire to a stranger. The transition. Montage. Maya stands in front of a huge private jet. She is driven through the gates of the Heights, a fortress-like estate. A team of stylists removes her old clothes and dresses her in a $10,000 silk gown. Maya, VO. It all happened so quickly. In just 24 hours, I went from being a paralegal to a princess. I learned that my mother had a secret affair with Arthur Sterling and that he had never stopped searching for us. It felt like a fairy tale, but fairy tales always have a monster lurking beneath the surface. The meeting. Int. The Sterling Library, Day. The room has the scent of old leather and oxygen tanks. Arthur Sterling sits in a high-backed chair, looking frail, yet his eyes are sharp. Arthur. Come closer, child. Maya steps forward, and he touches her face, creating a moment of genuine connection. Arthur. You have her eyes. My Sarah's eyes. I've made many mistakes, Maya, but leaving you in poverty was my greatest. I'm making you my sole heir. Maya. Voice shaking. I don't want the money, Mr. Sterling. I want to discover who I am. Arthur. You are a Sterling. And you are the only thing standing in the way of someone who would destroy this company. SFX. The heavy oak doors slam open. Julian Sterling, 30s, enters, impeccably dressed and radiating suppressed anger. He looks at Maya as if she's a blemish on the rug. Julian. So, this is the miracle. The long-lost daughter, found just a week before the board vote. How convenient, Arthur. Arthur. She is my blood, Julian. More than I can say for you. Julian. Leaning over Maya, whispering. Enjoy the silk and champagne, sister. But remember, the higher you rise, the harder you'll fall when I expose you as nothing but a fraud from the slums. The seed of doubt. Int. Maya's bedroom, night. Maya gazes at her reflection in a full-length mirror, feeling like a stranger. She reaches into her bag and pulls out an old, worn photo of her mother that she has kept all her life. She gazes at the picture, then at the DNA report resting on the nightstand, and something catches her attention. Maya, VO. Julian was correct about one thing, it was too convenient. She picks up the DNA report and spots a small watermark at the bottom, Sterling Global Research. Maya. To herself. He owns the lab. Suddenly, the lights in her room flicker and go out, plunging the space into darkness. Maya. Hello, Henderson. A shadow passes by her door, and Maya cautiously approaches it. On the floor in the hallway, a small handwritten note has been slipped under her door. Close up on note. Don't drink the water. You aren't the daughter. You were the bait. Maya looks up, filled with fear. At the end of the dark hallway, she sees Julian standing there, lit by a single window. He no longer looks angry, instead, he is smiling. Int. Maya's bedroom, morning. The sunlight streams in intensely, highlighting Maya's pale, weary face. She clutches a note from the previous night that reads, "You are the bait." Quickly, she tucks it beneath her mattress just as a knock is heard. Alara OS. Miss Maya, your breakfast is ready. Mr. Sterling is waiting for you in the conservatory. Maya opens the door to find Alara, the head housekeeper, standing there with an expression as unyielding as stone. Maya. Alara, the power went out last night. I thought I saw someone in the hallway. Alara, smoothing Maya's collar with a cold touch. Old houses cast shadows, miss. It's best to ignore them. In this family, the truth is whatever the master decides it is. The glass cage. Int. Conservatory, day. Arthur sits among vibrant, exotic plants, focused on a digital tablet displaying stock market updates. Arthur. Ah, Maya, you look stunning. Today, the world will meet you. We're hosting a press conference. I want the board of directors to see the future of Sterling Global. Maya. Arthur. Father. Julian mentioned some things yesterday about the timing of my arrival. Arthur. Banging his hand on the table, revealing a moment of tyranny. Julian is a vulture. He was my late wife's son, a boy I raised out of pity. He desires my position, but he lacks the spirit for it. You, Maya, you have my spark. Maya, V.O. He referred to it as a spark. But as I looked at him, it felt more like a brand. He wasn't seeing a daughter, he was seeing a weapon. The investigation. Int. Mansion hallways, later. Maya strolls through the hallways, feigning admiration for the artwork. She notices Julian entering a restricted area and follows him at a distance. She discovers a small, hidden office, the archives. She slips inside and starts rummaging through files, finding one labeled, Project Penelope. Inside are pictures of another girl, the same age and with the same hair color, but marked with a red X. Maya, V.O. I wasn't the first. There had been others, girls brought here, dressed in silk, only to be erased. She uncovers a medical bill for Penelope Walsh, paid for by the Sterling Foundation, for a non-disclosure and relocation agreement. Julian, O.S. Did you find what you were looking for? Maya jumps, startled. Julian leans against the doorframe, swirling a drink. Julian. Number 4. That's what you are, Maya. He's been searching for a daughter to secure my inheritance for 3 years. The others weren't convincing enough. But you're a paralegal. You know how to deceive. You're his masterpiece. Maya. The DNA test. Julian. Is just a piece of paper Arthur purchased, just like he bought that dress you're wearing. The choice. Int. Kitchen pantry, night. Maya confronts Alara, showing her a photo of her real mother. Maya. Did you know her? Sarah Vance. Please tell me the truth. If I'm a fraud, I need to leave before the press conference. Alara gazes at the photo, her expression softening for a brief moment. She leans in and whispers. Alara. Sarah worked as a maid here 30 years ago. Arthur had a twisted affection for her. However, Sarah fled because she understood what he truly was. She didn't want her child growing up in this environment. Maya. So, I'm his daughter. Alara. He doesn't care whether you are or not, dear. His only concern is that the board believes it. Once the vote on Friday goes through and Julian is removed, Arthur won't need a daughter anymore. SFX. The sound of a security camera rotating in the corner. A red light blinks. Maya, V.O. I found myself trapped between 2 monsters, a stepbrother who wanted me dead and a father who only valued me as long as I was useful. Maya gazes at the camera, straightens her posture, and her expression turns icy. Maya. To the camera, Arthur. If I'm going to be a tool, I'll be the one to break the hand that wields it. Fade to black. Maya, V.O. Tomorrow is the press conference. The day I reveal my identity to the world, even if I'm still uncertain about it myself. Maya is preparing for the press conference, dressed in a dark, professional suit instead of the princess gown Arthur had hoped for. She picks up her mother's old silver locket, the only item she brought from home. Upon noticing a slight misalignment in the metal casing, she uses a nail file to pry at the inner rim, causing a small, folded piece of microfilm to fall out. Maya, V.O. My mother didn't just leave me a memory, she left me a plan. She anticipated the day the Sterlings would come searching for their missing piece. Pre-game warfare. Int. Mansion Grand Hall, day. The mansion is bustling with media personnel. Arthur is getting fitted with a microphone when Julian approaches Maya in the hallway. He hands her a glass of water, the very thing the note warned her against. Julian, you seem anxious, sister. Drink this. It'll calm your nerves before you deceive 100 cameras. Maya takes the glass, meets his gaze, and pours the water into a nearby potted plant. Maya, I'm a paralegal, Julian. I don't get nervous, I get ready. Julian, leaning in, his voice dripping with malice. The DNA lab report is being leaked to a competing journalist right now. By the time you finish your speech, you'll be the most notorious fraud in the country. Arthur won't come to your rescue then, he'll claim you deceived him to protect his own reputation. Here's a paraphrase of the text. I suppose we're both short on time. The press conference. Int. Ballroom, continuous. Camera flashes go off. Arthur stands at the podium, embodying the proud yet dying father. Arthur. Today, I address the biggest regret of my life. I present to you my daughter, Maya Sterling. Maya approaches the podium. The audience is filled with hostile faces. Reporter. Miss Sterling, there are claims that your mother was paid to stay away. Is it true that you've only come forward now because of the inheritance vote? Maya, calmly, my mother, Sarah Vance, didn't stay away for financial reasons. She stayed away for her safety. She gazes directly at Arthur, who narrows his eyes, surprised by her words. Maya, she left me a locket. Inside it wasn't a photo, it was a list of names. The names of the other daughters my father sought before me. The room falls silent. Julian looks pale. Arthur's hand shakes on the podium. The counter-strike. Maya counted into the microphones. But more importantly, she left me the actual DNA results from 26 years ago. She takes out a small printed sheet from her pocket, the contents of the microfilm. Maya, the Sterling Global Lab confirms I'm his biological child. However, my mother's private test, conducted at a clinic in Zurich before she escaped, tells a very different story. Arthur, hissing. Maya, sit down. Now. Maya. The truth is, Arthur Sterling doesn't have a biological heir. He's sterile, and he has known this his entire life. Julian is aware of it too. That's why they've been playing this game. Julian wanted a fake sister he could easily expose to show Arthur was unfit to lead, and Arthur wanted a fake daughter to intimidate Julian into submission. SFX, the room erupts into chaos as reporters shout questions. Maya, VO. I wasn't the daughter. I wasn't even the bait. I was the explosion. Maya steps off the stage, leaving Arthur and Julian amidst the media frenzy. As she exits, Alara, the housekeeper, stands by the door and hands Maya her old backpack and a car key. Alara, whispering, go. The microfilm also contains the bank codes for the Project Penelope hush money accounts. Sarah wanted you to have your true inheritance. Maya, looking back, what about them? Alara, they're about to discover what happens when you build an empire on a lie. Int. Black SUV, moments later. Maya starts the engine and glances at the mansion in the rearview mirror. Suddenly, her phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. Close up on phone. You think you're free. Check the glove box. We're just getting started. Maya opens the glove box and finds a secondary DNA report, revealing a match. Not to Arthur, but to Julian. Fade to black. Maya, VO. The deception was deeper than I realized. I wasn't Arthur's daughter, I was Julian's sister. And that meant the man I was fleeing from was the only family I had left. Maya is parked on a dimly lit stretch of road, fixated on the DNA report she retrieved from the glove compartment. Maya, VO. Everything has changed again. Arthur Sterling isn't my father, he's the kidnapper. He didn't just find me, he abducted Julian's mother, Sarah, many years ago. Julian isn't the ruthless stepson, he's the brother I never knew existed. And we've been at odds over a phantom. SFX, a loud thud against the passenger window. Maya yelps, grabbing a heavy flashlight. It's Julian, his tuxedo ripped and his face bruised. He appears frightened. Julian, let me in. Maya, open the door or we're both going to die. The escape. Int. SUV, continuous. Maya unlocks the door, and Julian falls inside. Maya, why should I trust you? You tried to poison me. Julian, breathless. I didn't. The note, the one you found under your door. That was me. I was trying to scare you off because I knew what happened to the other girls. Arthur doesn't just relocate the ones who fail, Maya. He gets rid of them. SFX, bright headlights appear in the rearview mirror, blinding them. Julian, we need to go. That's his cleaner. Arthur doesn't leave any loose ends, and after what you said on that stage, we're the biggest loose ends in the state. Maya accelerates, the tires screeching loudly. The truth in the shadows. Int. Abandoned motel room, later. The neon sign buzzes outside. Maya and Julian sit on separate beds, and Maya throws the DNA report at him. Maya, explain this. Right now. Julian, voice shaking. My mother, Sarah, she wasn't Arthur's lover. She was his captive. She escaped while pregnant with you. He kept me to make sure she wouldn't go to the police. He raised me to despise her memory, claiming she abandoned me. Maya, and the other girls, Project Penelope, Julian, they were test subjects. He was searching for a perfect match to secure the sterling fortune to a bloodline he controlled. But when he found you, he realized you were too clever. He planned to use you to ruin me, then eliminate you for being a fraud. Maya, looking at her mother's locket. She didn't escape out of fear. She ran to protect me. But she left you behind. Julian, a hollow laugh. She did what she had to do. And now Arthur is going to complete what he started 30 years ago. The hunt begins. Ext. Motel parking lot, continuous. A black sedan arrives quietly. A man in tactical gear, the cleaner, exits, attaching a silencer to a handgun. Int. Motel room, continuous. Maya notices a shadow under the door and grabs Julian's arm. Maya, the bathroom window. Let's go. They scramble through the small window just as the door is kicked open. SFX, silenced gunshots. Thwip. Thwip. They fall into the wet grass behind the motel. Maya glances at the microfilm she still has. Maya, Julian, the bank codes. Alara said they were for hush money. But look at these transactions, they aren't going to the girls. Julian, where are they going? Maya, to a private medical facility in upstate New York called the Wardenclyffe Institute. Julian, eyes widening. That's where my mother died 10 years ago. Maya, or where he's been keeping her. Fade to black. Maya, VO. We weren't just fighting for an inheritance. We were fighting for a mother who might still be alive. But to reach her, we have to return to the lion's den. Ext. Wardenclyffe Institute, night. A stark concrete structure encircled by tall electrified fences, resembling a prison more than a hospital. Maya and Julian observe from the nearby woods, dressed in stolen medical scrubs. Maya, VO. Every law has its loopholes. Every fortress has its weak points. Arthur Sterling invested billions to conceal his wrongdoings here. He believed he had buried our mother beneath layers of NDAs and medical jargon. He overlooked the fact that a daughter knows how to interpret the unspoken. Julian, checking a tablet. The codes from the microfilm worked. The perimeter sensors are down for 60 seconds. Maya, if she's inside and doesn't remember me. Maya, we get her out first. We'll handle the heartbreak later. Let's go. The infiltration. Int. Wardenclyffe corridors, continuous. Sterile white corridors illuminated by flickering blue lights. Maya and Julian move purposefully, keeping their heads down as they pass a nurse's station. Nurse Vance, you too. Floor 4 is off limits tonight. Mr. Sterling's orders. Maya, coolly, imitating Henderson's tone. We're with the transport team. The transfer of patient 709 was rescheduled. Check your terminal. The nurse frowns and begins typing. Maya's loophole, a remote hack by Julian, lights up green on the screen. The nurse nods, still suspicious but compliant. Maya, VO, patient 709. My mother's birth month and the date she died. Arthur always had a taste for irony. The room of glass. Int. ICU room 709 continuous. The door hisses open. A woman sits by the window, gazing at the moon. She is thin, her hair white, but her posture is unmistakable. It's Sarah. Julian freezes, a sob choking him. Julian. Mother. The woman turns. Her eyes are vacant, but they sharpen as they focus on Maya. She shifts her gaze between Maya and Julian, her hands trembling. Sarah. A raspy whisper. The locket. Did you find the locket? Maya. Rushing to her. I found it, Mom. And I found Julian. We're taking you home. Sarah. Grabbing Maya's arm with unexpected strength. You need to get out. Right now. He anticipated your arrival. The bank codes, they were just a clue. He wanted everyone gathered in one location. The trap closes. SFX, a loud metallic clang. The shutters of the room slam shut, locking the windows. The door locks with a magnetic sound. Arthur OS via intercom. Well done, Maya. I knew your paralegal instincts wouldn't be able to resist following the evidence. A screen on the wall lights up. Arthur Sterling appears in his library, looking healthier and more vibrant, raising a glass in a toast to the camera. Arthur. Julian, my boy, thank you for bringing her back. And Sarah, look at the lovely family we've assembled. Julian. Yelling at the camera. You're a monster. The world knows what you really are. Arthur. The world knows what I've told them. Right now, the news is reporting a tragic fire at a private medical facility. A disgruntled stepson and a fraudulent daughter attempted to kidnap a patient, leading to a fatal explosion. SFX, a high-pitched whine. Gas starts to hiss from the vents. Maya, looking around in panic. The locket. Julian, the locket is more than just a container. Maya slams the locket onto the floor. Inside the silver casing isn't just film, it's a small, high-frequency transmitter. Maya, Mom didn't just leave a blueprint. She set up a dead man switch. If this transmitter leaves the Sterling estate, it will automatically upload all data from every Sterling global server to the Department of Justice. Arthur's expression on the screen shifts from smug to terrified. Arthur. Yelling. Stop it. Turn it off. Maya. Looking into the camera. It's too late, Father. The truth is about to go viral. Fade to black. Maya. VO. The gas was filling the room. We were trapped in a glass box. But for the first time in my life, I knew exactly who I was. And I wasn't going down without a fight. Int. ICU room 709 continuous. The sound of gas hissing is overwhelming. Sarah is coughing. Julian is repeatedly slamming his shoulder against the reinforced glass door, but it won't open. Maya. Julian, stop. You'll run out of oxygen. Maya is on the floor, tearing the wiring from the automated medical monitor. She's bypassing the circuits with a mix of precision and urgency. Maya. VO. Arthur Sterling thought he was playing chess. But he forgot that if you push a pawn far enough, it can become a queen. Maya. To Julian. Open the oxygen tank valve all the way and step back. Maya connects two live wires to the metal bed frame. SFX. A loud electrical crackle followed by an explosion. The magnetic lock on the door shorts out, and the door swings open. Maya grabs Sarah, while Julian grabs Maya. They rush into the hallway just as the fire alarms start blaring. The Falling Kingdom. Ext. Sterling Estate. Night. The mansion is surrounded by police sirens and news helicopters. The dead man switch has worked. The data dump has immobilized Sterling Global. Arthur is in the library, desperately trying to delete files as Henderson and the board members flee. Int. Library. Continuous. Arthur looks up to see the doors burst open. Maya, Julian, and Sarah stand there, covered in soot, bruised, but alive. Arthur, trembling, pointing a shaky finger. You have nothing. I'll tie you up in legal battles for years. I control the judges. I control the city. Maya, walking toward him, calm and deadly. You owned a paralegal, Arthur. You should have verified my work. She throws a tablet onto his desk, displaying a live feed of the sterling global stock price. It's at zero. Maya, the Department of Justice has frozen all your assets. The board has removed you from your position. And the daughters you discarded. They're currently at the police station. They're no longer frauds. They're now witnesses. The true heir, Sarah, stepping forward, her voice strong for the first time. Look at me, Arthur. I am the one thing in this world you couldn't buy. And these are the children you attempted to turn into monsters. Arthur, to Julian. Julian, I raised you. Everything I did was for our legacy. Julian, taking his mother's hand. You didn't give me a legacy, Arthur. You gave me a prison. Maya gave me a sister. Arthur slumps into his chair, appearing small and pitiful. The great Arthur Sterling has vanished, leaving only a frail old man in an empty room. SFX, police burst into the room. Hands in the air. Arthur Sterling, you are under arrest. As they escort Arthur away in handcuffs, he glances at Maya one last time. Arthur, who are you, really? Maya, I'm the mistake you should never have made. The new dawn. Ext. The estate gates. Dawn. The sun rises over the Hudson River. Maya, Julian, and Sarah stand by the SUV as the Sterling Global sign is taken down. Julian, what's next? The lawyers say there's still enough in the private trusts for us to start fresh. Away from here. Maya, looking at the horizon. I'm going back to school, Julian. But not for law. I think the world has enough lawyers. I want to create something real. Sarah, touching Maya's face. Your mother would be so proud. Maya, smiling. You are my mother, Sarah. And for the first time in 26 years. I know exactly where I belong. Maya, V.O. They called me the counterfeit heir. They believed I was a fake. But the truth is, the only real thing in that house was the courage to tear it down. Maya starts the car. Julian sits in the passenger seat, and Sarah is in the back. They drive away from the estate, leaving the shadow of the Sterling name behind them. Fade to black. Text on screen. Arthur Sterling died in prison awaiting trial. Maya and Julian established the Vance Center for Justice, assisting victims of corporate abuse. They never looked back.